Today, my content is a little different and it felt very important for me to share. I've been going back and forth about whether or not I'm going to put a specific company on blast that has been letting down me as a consumer and many others who have also trusted in them. If that is not your vibe for today, then keep scrolling. But if you want all the tea, then you should stay here. I'm Leilani Munyulu. I'm a modern shaman activating individuals and organizations into their highest power. Been super disappointed with a company called Opus or Feel Opus. They make sound beds and they espouse to be of support from a spiritual perspective, which is another reason why this is so disappointing to me, because so many people in the last 4 or 5 years have been entering into their spiritual awakening. These people, many of whom are clients of mine, are looking for tools, resources, support to usher them into this phase of spiritual awakening. Opus Soundbeds handle is at Feel Opus. I believe they're on TikTok. I know for sure they're on Instagram. I've been blocked everywhere because I started commenting that they were out of integrity and trying to warn future consumers not to purchase from them. This company espouses to be of support to the spiritual community, connecting you through sound, which I do believe that they had intentions maybe when they started the company. I hope that they would support people in their spiritual becoming. But it does grind my gears that there are companies out there that are marketing themselves to be of spiritual support and then operating out of spiritual integrity. When I came across this company, I felt like they were very much operating from a place of integrity. It felt like their product, which essentially is, from what I can tell, because I never received it, it's melding sound and spiritual awakening, spiritual becoming, helping people to connect to their body through sound and energetics. And it looked like a really lovely product, something that I could use, something that potentially my clients could use at some point. I'm gonna give you the timeline. Probably worth noting that these sound beds are not cheap. They are upwards of $2,000. The process was that you put down a deposit and then they would reach out to you when they were starting production for your batch of sound beds. I put a deposit down August of 2023, y'all. So we are going way back in time. A month later, they sent an email and said, hey, we're entering production for your sound bed. Do you still want it? And then at that point, you make the purchase. I ended up doing a payment plan. I got a ship date of November, December of 2023. November came around and I was just like, I'm just curious, are you still on track to ship by November, December? And they said, yes, we're still on track. January 2024 rolls around. They said, oh, we're aiming for a February, March 2024 delivery, with almost no explanation why it shifted out. As somebody who has a background in business, it felt really weird to me that they didn't give any heads up, this is gonna be late. They didn't give any reason why it would be late. I was like, okay, fine, just get it to me. March of 2024 rolls around and again, asked for status. They had, at that point, 0 delivery date. They were like, we don't know when we're gonna deliver. After much back and forth of just trying to understand, like, what is going on? Why is this not delivered yet? Why do you have no idea? I was so bothered, but I wasn't ready to just say, like, give me my money back, because I still believed in their claims and still believed in the product at that point. As you might expect, by July of 2024, I still had no product. I had much back and forth, and at that point, they just had no delivery date. They were like, we don't know when we're gonna be able to ship. They did make mention of some issues with the distributor, and it seemed like they were doing some overseas production. So there were reasons, but nothing that felt good enough to explain these massive delays at this point and seemingly no action to try to make it right. So I continued this back and forth with them into 2025 this year. And by February, I was like, you know what? I am done. I no longer want to wait for this product. I don't believe in you as a company. I asked for a full refund and I was very clear that I wanted it right away. It is now September of 2025. After months of saying, where's my refund? Where's my refund? Where's my refund? They did not issue anything. They just kept saying it was some accounting issue. They couldn't give me any good reason why they weren't refunding my money. So the only thing that I could gather is that they don't have the money to refund people. So I looked it up. There are a lot of people with the same issue with this exact company that were saying that they've been waiting for months and months to receive their refunds. At this point, it's now been 7 months since I asked for the refund. I don't have any confidence that I'm going to get any money back. And in May of 2025, they actually stopped responding to my request for status on my refund. The reason I am bringing all this up, first and foremost, if you are thinking about getting an Opus Soundbed, I highly recommend you not do it. The other thing that feels really troubling about this is I went on their website just today to see if they're still taking orders for new sound beds, and they are. So if we think about a company that is here to support this tender and vulnerable community, this population of people who are looking for energetic spiritual support, and so clearly doing it so poorly, we have to connect this with a couple of things. First and foremost, do not buy from this company. I cannot urge you enough to steer so clear from this company. And if you have the ability to go and comment on their page and let other consumers know that they are operating out of their integrity, please do so. I've been blocked, so I can't do that. And they will probably block you too. I really wanted to make sure that people knew that this was not a company that's operating in their integrity, their human integrity, their spiritual integrity. It is all messed up. Secondly, I really wanted to take a moment to talk about what does it mean to actually be in spiritual integrity when we are entrepreneurs, leaders, organizations, businesses. The way that I support leaders and organizations is to activate them into their intuition, to support them in feeling into their intuition and getting information that is coming from outside of our 3D experience, and oftentimes connect them with the soul of their organization. So let's talk about the soul of our organization for a moment. All that this means is that everything in existence has its own energetic signature. That also extends to our businesses, our organizations. So anywhere there is something in existence, there is generally an energetic signature attached to it. For instance, I am a business owner. My business has its own soul with which I commune often to ensure that, yes, I am obviously, or obvious to me, going to operate in my human integrity when I do business, but I also want to make sure that I am in my spiritual integrity when I do business. Generally, when we think about the soul of the organization, especially in the very dense, challenging dimension that we are navigating, most souls of the organizations are wanting us to move forward as a collective. Most of the souls of our organizations want us to get out of this place of suffering that we've been in as a collective. At the end of the day, the soul of our organizations generally want us to thrive as a collective. They want us to get out of a place of suffering as a whole. So when we are out of alignment with the soul of our organization, when we're not being truthful about why we're here, who we are, what we're here to do, what is our big work in moving these organizations forward, we are no longer in integrity on a spiritual level. We're no longer in integrity on a 3D level. So yes, I wanted to warn people about this company in particular, but also for those of you that are working in organizations or are leaders or CEOs or entrepreneurs or just helping run a business or an organization, this is also a call to action. How can you be more deeply in your integrity when it comes to, of course, your 3D integrity, which most of us, for the most part, are aware of what that actually means and feels like and looks like. And yet there's also this piece of, am I being mindful about the soul, the energetics of my organization? And am I operating from a place of alignment when I think about how I'm moving forward as a leader, as an entrepreneur? So it's not to say to blow up your life because you are a part of an organization that might be operating out of integrity, but it is a call to action for the leaders and the ones who are steering the ships of these organizations to begin to think about what it means to do business from a place of spiritual alignment. If you are a leader, a CEO, an executive in a business that you know is operating out of spiritual integrity, perhaps it's actual human 3D integrity, this is an opportunity for you to be brave and ask the right questions and ensure that you, in your own integrity, can say that you did the right thing. It's also an opportunity for those of us who are consumers to be intentional about the places that we are supporting, about where we're spending our money, et cetera, et cetera. Let me know how this lands for you in the comments, and if you have any questions, I will try my best to put up some follow-up videos. Okay, I love you.